Nathan, Nat and Shaun's Holiday Check-In Podcast. It's a vibe, summertime, it's a vibe.
Just testing that everything's still working in here. Morning, hello. It's been a couple of minutes, I guess. Sam in the studio, and it's pretty quiet here on the Western Front at Nova. It's ghost staff, but there are a couple of us in the building ready to have a little chat to you, get on a podcast, because it's that quiet time of the year. So we have got in myself, Sam, who pushes the buttons, and also joining me, the slightly better looking Sam in the building.
Oh, stop it.
Digital Sam as well.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Happy New Year to you, mate.
Yeah, 2025, we've arrived. But no, like the reason why I wanted to jump on, obviously we just had New Year's Eve. As you get older, it gets a little bit more boring. But I wanted to kind of chat about New Year's Eve fails. And have you ever had a New Year's where it was just a complete wipeout? It was really crap.
No, luckily, usually I am sensible now and do what I did this year. Gets to 12 o'clock, do my little blow the little blower, have a little champers in bed by 12:30. But there's certainly, especially in the younger days, when you're really trying to get a kiss or you're out at a party, certainly some times where
oh my God, I forgot New Year's Eve kisses.
I know.
Like, people do that.
And for you who have been, you probably haven't had to think about it for a few years, but still weighs heavy on the mind for us single folk.
Actually, I've got a story about a New Year's Eve kiss. It's quite funny. In maybe it was year 11 or 12, this is actually very sneaky of me. I don't know if I should be telling this, but my New Year's Eve kiss was this guy, Mitch. And
shout out Mitch if you're listening.
Hey, Mitch. Maybe we should use fake names. Okay, no, we'll go with Mitch. There's a million Mitches out there in Perth. Anyway, I kissed him that night, but my best friend at the time, she had a huge crush on Mitch.
Damn it.
I knew I shouldn't have done it, but like, I did it. Anyway, we stopped being best friends in the new year.
I was going to ask, did Mitch ever make a return? Or that was a one and done as well?
One and done. I don't even think he was gay, so I don't know why we kissed.
You were going to tell us about some New Year's fails you had. I'm guessing these were from the single party, late night out kind of days?
Yeah, they were. Look, I think my most hectic New Year's to date was probably about 10 years ago now, and I was spent it in Bali. Went to this event at Da Maria, this really cool cafe bar situation. Bought a ticket. They were like $70. Didn't realise till we got there that it was all inclusive. So full open bar. If you wanted to go like, I want a spicy marg and I want an espresso martini and I want 4 shots of Patron, it was like, cool, all right, give us 10 minutes and I'll bring it out to you, which we didn't realise at the time. So we rocked up pretty sober. And the event started at like, I don't know, maybe like 6 p.m. So we were all smashed, me and a group of mates, by 7 o'clock. So we had, the long innings. The night kind of devolved. We actually left Da Maria before midnight.
I was going to ask, did you see him in the new year?
Yeah, we were just like too blind to stay in the one spot, I think. Ended up moseying on and went to, I don't know if you know the gay bar in Bali. It's called Bali Joe's.
No, but...
it's a real iconic venue. It's been around for
Bali Joe's? Just say that.
And they're great. Hi, Bali Joe's, if you're listening. And it was maybe like... I think it had already ticked over to New Year's at this point. But it wouldn't have been more than 10 minutes into the new year. Drunk as, not paying attention... was crossing the road. I could see Bali Joe's ahead of me, crossing the road, not looking, and I got cleaned up by a scooter.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I like it just smacked right into me, and it was completely my fault, obviously. But yeah, I bounced off the floor, covered in blood, scratched, but I put in a brave face and I still went to the club.
Was it, so no hospital visit? No, nothing?
No, I think... It's one of those situations where I think being drunk helped me out because I was so just like, no, like I'm totally fine, so yeah. But the next morning I did wake up and I had a huge graze down my
bruises,
chest and like thigh area. And yeah, I didn't even think I was the worst off in my friendship group, but yeah, I was definitely complaining the most.
Well, they do say being drunk, not that I suggest this, but can help with a fall because your body's all loosey goosey. Instead of trying to catch yourself.
Yeah, I definitely think if I was sober, I would have made it like a way bigger deal than it would probably had to have been. But yeah, look, glad I'm here to tell the tale.
And that is an overseas New Year's is kind of a thing. I guess everyone's on holidays this kind of year, so people try and do a little trip to Bali, or we did a Thailand one year, but that seems to be the go. Have you had any more overseas New Year's? Bring it in?
Actually, no, I spent last year in Japan for New Year's, and it was incredible.
What do they do there? I know, I can imagine the New York ball drop. Does Japan in Tokyo or somewhere have like a ball drop?
They used to do it in Shibuya Crossing, like that main big crossing. They used to do it there. I think that since COVID, they've kind of like moved away from it a little bit. So I didn't spend it there, but I was in a club, of course.
Nice.
And I just remember everything smelling like cigarettes. Japan, as like clean as the place is, they have like that's still old school in the mentality that you can smoke inside. Which if you're a smoker, you're like, great, I don't have to go outside. I can still like, smoke on the dance floor. Yeah. No one will bat an eyelid, but unfortunately, when you're in a small, tight club and you've got even just like two people having a cigarette, like the whole place stinks. And that was probably my biggest takeaway. I absolutely love Japan and it was incredible. But yeah, smoking inside.
Strange for a community that's all about respect and cleanliness and like efficiency. Yeah. I thought that would be one they'd gotten rid of.
Yeah, I mean they're not the only ones as well. There's like places all over Europe as well that are like that. And I guess like the club's fine. I mean, I remember when we were like when I just turned 18. I don't know if I'm aging myself out here, but yeah, you used to be able to smoke inside on the dance floor at Connections.
Yeah, it's funny the switch now, like. Vapes almost were in because they weren't cigarette smoke, but now everyone's sick of vapes and it's almost the ciggies, the analog is almost rolling back around again.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
What about you, mate? Tell me about your overseas adventures. Or not even overseas, like what about New Year's?
Yeah, well, we did. Probably the two wildest ones have been overseas. One was a Thailand trip, similar to you. As a young fella, a few guys and you get a bit wild and, a little drunk over there. But luckily...
A few girls you thought were guys? Or a few guys, yeah.
A few that I wasn't quite sure. But no, biggest one, or technically overseas, I guess, and I reckon a few people in Perth might have done this this year, was a New Year's in Rottnest. We booked it very, very early one year. Nice. The island was absolutely chock-a-block, but really nice way to spend it when you can't go too far. Bit of hubbub around, but like it feels like you're in civilization, but you're almost not because Rottnest rules. It was very, very cool.
Pinky's Beach was going off, I assume.
There wasn't not just pinkies, but ring fingers, thumbs.
Oh my god! Yeah. Got a toe in there.
Yeah, it was all going nuts. But we had a lost mate. We thought Rottnest will be great because you can't lose anyone. You can't go anywhere until about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock on New Year's morning when we were still looking for our mate.
Oh my God.
We knew he was responsible. We'd all been to Rottnest before and brought in the new year and then all made the way back to our accommodation. We're staying at like one of the barracks, just sort of 10 minutes down. So all rode our bikes in dribs and trabs and I made assured he would meet us. Didn't. Got up early the next morning, a little worried, the whole phone dead situation. We find him mid-morning the next day. He'd been, let's say, adopted by some kind strangers on the way home. Yeah, riding his bike, he'd had a little stack and 2:30 or 3 in the morning, he reckons, was pretty worse for wear, half asleep on the side of the road. And luckily a nice slightly older couple saw him on their way home, tended, looked after him, but he didn't think to send us a message or let us know.
Do you know what's so incredible about that, or just like Rottnest in general, is that there has been generations upon generations of young WA kids just going there and just getting absolutely plastered. Like that's why I went for levers.
Yeah.
And, I feel like even like, my older sister has stories from Rottnest. Like my older cousins who are older than that have stories from Rottnest. It's just such a beautiful rite of passage.
It's, where you go to party, grow up a little bit, and certainly did. Like I said, we went through like 7 stages of grief in about 3 hours. So we were worried. Then we thought, no, he'll be fine. Then we thought he'd gone for a swim, and so traumatic start to the year, certainly. But luckily, it was all up from there, and he was fine, just a little hungover and a little grazed. But
glad to hear it, mate. But look, Happy New Year to you, and. Yeah, look, how long till Nathan, Nat and Shaun are back?
I think we've got about 3 weeks. Who's counting?
3 more weeks apiece.
So quiet in the building. I think I'll miss them by then, I must say, but they're all off gallivanting, holidaying and collecting some stories. So we'll hear from them in a few weeks' time. In the meantime, Sammy, nice to see you again.
Catch up, mate.
Happy New Year.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.